everyone, I figured since Halloween is coming up, we would do something a little fun and a little different today, and we're gonna get a little bit spooky, we're gonna get a little bit creepy. I have been asked to do zombie makeup for a friend for a party we're going to this weekend, so I figured I would test out a zombie makeup look on myself before I do it on her, because I've never done makeup on anyone else before. I'm very nervous about it, and I figured I would share this process with you, so you can kind of like see what you think, see what I'm doing. And while we're doing this makeup look, we're going to be reading some creepy paranormal stories from Reddit. I know I'm usually quite skeptical about this kind of stuff, and that's why I figured today it would be quite fun if we read some of these stories, and then we can like have a discussion about like what we think it actually was, like some reasonable explanations for that kind of stuff. But also it's going to be a little bit of fun because, you know, Halloween and spooky season and all that kind of thing. Let's jump into it. Alright, so for all these stories, I was browsing the subreddit r/CreepyAskReddit, which is an amazing little collection of threads from just Ask Reddit, but all with like creepy, scary undertones. So in this thread, I found some pretty cool kind of like paranormal type stories that I thought we could have a look at. The first one reads, my friend had a roommate that collects antiques. Her roommate bought an old music box from a secondhand store, and there was definitely something attached to it. My friend's roommate started getting sleep paralysis almost every single night, and my friend kept waking up with scratches on her face and body. I was in her room one day, about a week after all this stuff had started, and I watched multiple things get flung off their bookcase. It wasn't like the items just fell. Each item had an arc to it as it fell, like something had smacked the items or pushed them off. When we got close to the bookcase, we realised everything that had been flung off the shelf had been on the same shelf as that damn music box. Every other shelf was untouched. We returned the music box the next day. And then later on in that thread, they clarified that the sleep paralysis and scratching completely stopped. It's been over a year since, and nothing else has happened to them. So they returned the music box, it stopped. They bought the music box, that's when it started. I know this sounds creepy. It may just be a case of humans looking for patterns in things, connecting things. There's a chance something else happened which like triggered the sleep paralysis, which is a terrifying thing. I don't know if you guys have ever gone through it. It is horrible and I hate it. It's not happened to me very often, but the few times it has, it is traumatic. The scratches on the face and body, that again is another terrifying thing to wake up to, but it's something that we can do in our sleep, something that happens. It might have been something like something scratchy in the bedsheet. She might have done it herself with her nails. There are reasonable explanations for this kind of stuff. The stuff being flung off the bookcase, though, is a little bit weirder. It could have been, I don't know, anything to do with like a minor earthquake, or I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts on that bit are, because that's the bit that I don't quite have an obvious explanation for. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think maybe caused things to be flung off the bookcase. Do you think this is just a case of someone having sleep paralysis and kind of like trying to find a pattern, trying to find a cause, with it being like, ooh, it was the music box? Let me know down in the comments what you think this was. For our next story, we're getting a little bit more sci-fi, and we're talking aliens and UFOs. I was sitting in a field with two friends, stargazing after a smoke session, something we would do regularly, when we noticed a bright white glowing orb in the sky. Best way to describe the size is if you take a dime, hold it at arm's length away from you. It was flying in a curved pattern at a decent rate of speed. While we tried guessing what it could be, it made a 90-degree turn and flew over the horizon at an incredible speed. It did this almost immediately after we'd all seen it and pointed it out, trying to follow it with our fingers. Still have no clue what it could be. As far as my friends and I know, there aren't any aircrafts capable of such things. Should add, this was back in 2006 or 7, but seems how 3 people witnessed the same thing, we were convinced it was a UFO. So UFOs are one of these things where there's always plenty of possible explanations for it. It's not necessarily like aliens and a spaceship and that kind of thing. So for this, it does make it a little bit more unusual, because the fact that it can just do a 90-degree turn, the fact that it was moving so quickly, means it's probably not something like a hot air balloon, which can look a little bit funny from a distance, but that's more likely to move slower. It's not going to do those turns like that, unless of course it got like caught up in the wind or something. So I guess that's an option. The fact that it's round as well is pretty unusual. I guess it could have been something like a helicopter and it just looked a bit distorted from a distance or through some clouds, something like that. Another possible option could be that it was like a drone or something. I know it's a little bit early, back in 2006 or 7 for something like that, but again, it's possible. Other options are just that it was some kind of like flying animal or bird or something like that, or some kind of airplane, or I'm not sure. Let me know again down in the comments what you think this could be. I'm not in any way any kind of expert on things like planes or helicopters or stuff, so I don't really know enough about like what moves at what speeds and what kind of like turning capabilities certain things have, so I can't say for certain what this could be. But if you have any ideas, drop me a comment down below, discuss what you think it could be, or you know, if you're convinced this was definitely aliens, let me know that as well. This next one creeps me out so much because to me there is nothing scarier than like kids doing creepy stuff, kids' toys doing creepy stuff, creepy kids in general, just bleh, it scares me. So this next one, I actually think if this happened to me, I would freak out. And I know there's a reasonable explanation. I know, you know, it's not a ghost or whatever, but I still think if this happened to me, yeah, I'd be freaked out because I'm a huge chicken. When I was about 16 or 17, my sister and my nephew, about 2 years old, moved in with my parents. He had this toy ball that was shaped like a soccer ball. On each side it had a picture of a nursery rhyme, and when you rolled it, whichever nursery rhyme was on top, the ball would sing or play that song. One of the songs, Itsy Bitsy Spider, had a creepy girl voice sing it. Everything about that song got under my skin. The creepy voice, the weird background music. Out of all the songs it sang, Itsy Bitsy Spider was the one that bothered me the most. Okay, so one day, after school, I'm at home, doing my normal chores, mostly cleaning the house, laundry, etc. When I hear one of the bedroom doors slam, I go to investigate and find that it's my own bedroom door. Okay, no biggie. I open the door and head back down to the living room to finish cleaning. So I go back to putting my things away. I see the ball and check to see if it's on. It is. So I switch it off, set it down in the toy basket again, go back to doing my chores. A few minutes later, hear another door slam. I don't want to, but I go back down the hallway to investigate. And yeah, you guessed it. My bedroom door is closed again. At this point, I'm slightly creeped out. I've had other things happen in the house, lights flickering, things being out of place, but never doors slamming. So I go to open my bedroom door. The second I put my hand on the doorknob, I hear Itsy Bitsy Spider coming from the living room. I freeze. Every hair on my body stands up straight. Now I am totally freaked out and back away from the door. As I turn and start walking backwards towards the living room, I hear a giggle behind me, coming from my bedroom, I don't know, maybe, and I didn't turn around to find out. I run into the living room and look for the toy ball, and it's not in the toy basket anymore. It's in the dining room on top of the piano. And when I go to turn it off, Itsy Bitsy Spider wasn't even the picture on top of the ball. It also wasn't switched back on. I didn't even stick around to see what was going to happen next. I took tail and ran across the street to my friend's house. I wouldn't even go back in by myself. Had to wait a few hours for someone to get home. That effing ball went missing the next day. Better believe I wasn't keeping that thing in the house anymore. So yeah, like I say, this is one of the things that would seriously freak me out, like a lot. But again, I also think there's reasonable explanations for a lot of these things. And a lot of it is probably just like coincidences, bad timing, things being misremembered and hyped up in her head. Yeah, things like doors slamming, lights flickering can be attributed to wind, drafts, dodgy electric, that kind of thing. As for things like hearing the song on the ball when she was already freaked out, potentially that could have been some sort of like mild hallucination from her already being scared, and then like, you know, this creepy song that she's already scared of starts like kind of playing to her. I don't know, I'm being kind of like weird and vague here. I don't have an exact explanation for this, but I do think there is one. I don't think a kid's toy ball was possessed or haunted by a ghost or demon or whatever, but I do acknowledge creepy as hell, and I don't blame her. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Let me know down in the comments what you think happened in all these cases. Do you believe it was something paranormal or extraterrestrial or creepy or scary? Or do you think it's just, you know, human psychology playing tricks? Our brains messing things up? Is it just humans finding patterns wherever? Are there reasonable explanations for all of these things? Let me know your theories and thoughts down in the comments below. And thank you for watching today. I appreciate you guys so much.